kids are back in the classroom, but for many young children and even those tweens and teens, making and maintaining friendships can be a difficult thing to do.
So how can parents help without overstepping? Joining us to talk all about this is our friend and child psychologist, Dr. Laura Saunders. How are you, Doc?
Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. I am well in this beautiful sunny day.
Oh,
Yeah.
And yes,
so beautiful out.
we are talking about how important friendships are in establishing friendships and social skills for young people.
Isn't it just organic how it happens?
So sometimes it is organic, but I think it's also really important to acknowledge that we live in a different era, right? The era from the past is kids just go out and play. You make friends with kids in your neighborhood. You play in the park across the street. You make friends at school, and then you come home together, right? So, but we live in a different era, right? And so much is done online that you lose the natural aspect of developing reciprocity and social skills that we had 10, 20, 30 years ago.
And also, we have to acknowledge that for some kids, it actually is kind of hard for them to make friends.
Yes, these kids have been around since the beginning of time, right? And, sometimes it's just considered shyness, like they don't, and with shyness, what happens is they don't initiate, right? So the way you establish a friendship, even as a young child, is, do you want to share some of my yogurt? Do you want to play, right? It's that initiation, and when you don't have some of that initiation because someone is so excessively shy, it makes them seem different, and then other kids might not approach them.
So what, as a parent, do you force it?
This is tricky, right? Because we want to step in and try to arrange all these things. I mean, that's a lot of arranged play dates now. What should we do that doesn't overstep?
I think it's acknowledging actually what your own view is on friendships and social connection, because as a parent or family, if you don't really have outside connections, you're not going to value that in your child. That's first. Secondarily, it is sometimes creating opportunities. Now, that doesn't mean sitting with your 7-year-old and their friend and scripting out the whole thing, but it's creating an opportunity, inviting a friend over, and allowing things to unfold. If you see your child having further difficulties, then it might require some intervention.
Well, also, there are more kids who are neurodiverse, and even kids with ADHD. Sometimes the steps of making a friend, you say, could be difficult for those kids. Why is that?
Right. So they might have difficulty with impulsivity and attention. We talked about reciprocity, right? I do something for you, you do something for me, you talk first, then I talk first. If someone always talks over you, that becomes very disconcerting for young kids, or any really teenagers as well. So sometimes kids that are a little neurodivergent have additional difficulties.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about teaching kids social skills, but can that be done?
Yes, I mean, honestly, it's done a lot through modeling, but in schools, they run social skills groups all the time. School psychologists and school social workers for those kids that don't have a natural ability, right? There is such a thing as social anxiety. I actually think it's an overused term, but we'll get into that later at Kara's Cures. So there are kids that have an excessive shyness or social anxiety, and they really do need some help and support.
Yeah, and then at home, simple things that we can do, like you say, playing games, showing people how to take turns. Everyone knows you might have that one kid who they just want to win and they cry if they don't win. But if we practice showing, then they'll have a better time with their friends if they learn that at home.
Yes, I mean, that means being a model, right? And playing a game of cards or doing something, taking turns, going around the dinner table. Why don't you share one thing that happened for you today? Share one funny thing that happened, right? Doing little things to model sharing and turn taking and, moderating your impulses can go a long way.
Do you call the other parents and say, hey, my kid wants to be friends with your kid?
Well, I think, honestly, this is happening all the time. What you say is, I'm free on Saturday afternoon. Does your child want to come over for a couple hours and play or hang out, right? And so that's kind of the culture we've gotten into. That was not the way it was 20, 30 years ago, but that's the culture we've gotten into.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is a lot more parent involvement. It just seems like we don't just let our kids go out and be like, oh, where are they? Oh, they're playing with the neighborhood kids. Now it is a lot more parent involvement. Yeah, so we'll talk about some strategies of what we can do, maybe what's the wrong thing to do if you're overstepping on Kara's Cures on the podcast. You can find that on Apple or Spotify. You can also find lots of other free mental health advice from Dr. Laura Saunders on the podcast. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
All right.